we'll see. Just got to see that OC retest, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Let me share my screen. Let me see if this kind of like gives a little bit of those vibes because I think we could be looking at something very similar. I do have a little bit of a trend line here going down for a little long. You're talking about 94.6, right? Or 95, 90. What was the number? Sorry?
So there was a support level at about 95.2, but
95.2.
liquidity
Okay.
started at about 94.8, which is, if you look back left on the chart where we got the bounce last time, was at about 94.750. And so that's on the liquidation heat map as well. So you could see where people had leveraged long positions as well as their stop losses. Basically, they would get liquidated, right? So that's one of the things I always look at, as part of my analysis. And so I look for that wick down, grab liquidity, then come back up, reestablish the range, and then I look for the OC retest, right? And that's really a very basic strategy that I use all the time, and it works pretty well.
Nice, fantastic. Well, I'm also looking at a little bit of a supporting here. My support zone or my support area, it is somewhere around 93, 93, 900, 94-ish. In fact, I have a drone. Let me see it right here. I believe I saved it. Yes, I saved it. So basically, my area of support or that I was looking at for the previous range started at 95.4. That is because all of the hits that we had, but we've been breaking below that area, right? So I was looking for an entry channel now, and I draw that today on Piper Academy at 94.012, and also between 94.012 and 91.85 or 84. Somewhere around those two, where actually we could be looking for that pullback or a spring out of that range that we are into. So I'm still not discarding the possibility that we go and hit somewhere around 91, 92-ish areas, especially since in the 4 hour time frame we don't have a flip of the ribbon. But do you think that we might have that, or we could have that sweep of the lows?
Yeah, man, I think it's possible, and so that's why I'm looking at pretty much the same level as you are, right? So I was at 95.2, you're right around there. And then the next level I'm looking down is at about 92K, 92.5. So there's definitely a very clear area of support in that area, as well as the channel that I've talked about quite a bit on my show and even on the morning show. So that's held up since 2021, right? So if you go back left on the chart, that channel basically has acted as either support or resistance between the bottom, the top, or the median. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and show you. Let me show you. Let me
Absolutely.
give me 1 second here. I'm gonna pull up my chart here. I was doing a lot of back testing this weekend. My eyeballs are about to pop out. Let's see, pull up the TA. Oh gosh, I have so many lines on my chart, right? It's insane. You guys are gonna be like, "What is this?" All right, share. Oh, it's not letting me share.
Doesn't? It doesn't let you share?
No.
Uh,
Mm-mm.
Give me 1 second. Where are you? You're right here. 1 second. Can you share now?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. There we go. Just let me know if that pops up.
Oh yeah, it does.
All right. Cool. You can see all my craziness going on.
A little bit.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It would be take too much time to get rid of all these lines, but the channel remains.
Oh, I see
Pull
the
this over.
channel they're talking about. I see it now.
Eh, Actually, I may have it hidden.
Isn't
All
that the
right,
one, the last one to the right? That is kind of like a
there
flagging
we go.
down.
I got it right here. The yellow. All right, so
Oh, I
this is the one
see.
I'm
I
talking about
see.
right here. So if you go
Right.
back to 2021, literally from high to high, this is very simple TA. Like probably the simplest stuff I've done, but it's been very effective. And you look at where it pulled back, right? You found support. You went up to all-time high in 2021, pulled back, found support. You actually retested the bottom of it and broke down, right? So it lets you know that that area is very important. We come all the way back off bear market lows. We retest it. We break through, come down. OC retest. Here it is. We talk about it all the
Nice.
time, right? This is the one. OC retest continuation. All right. And then it starts interacting with the median. So this really let me know. I was like, I might be onto something with this channel because you got to retest, median, interact it. And then I was like, that's basically I came up with my highs. Sorry about all the lines here. I don't have rid of a couple of them. Here we go. Nope, not that one. There we go. And get rid of a couple things for you. So there you go. Since we've been in this range, we have respected this channel. It's crazy. Like, look how many times we've hit it. And sorry for all the lines here, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits. And you can argue this one, but you're having a horizontal level. You're having the channel. There's actually another long-standing trend line that actually intersects with this area right here. You also have the value area low of the range. So you have a lot of confluence right here at about 93, 92.5 in that area. And so I think that's why a lot of people are looking at it. Most of them are because the value area low. A lot of them are also talking about the horizontal level, right? Just that's very clear. But the channel is my big thing here. So a lot of people are asking, like, are you getting bearish? Nah, not yet. Because I'm
Confluence.
waiting for a weekly close underneath of this channel. Don't care about the value area low. Don't care about any of it besides this channel. If I get a weekly close with a retest, then my sentiment will change. And then 86, let me bring all this craziness back up, is a really nice area to look at. And the reason that's a nice area to look at is because you have the 382, you have the quarterly pivot, and a dynamic reactor, which obviously chart prime special on the daily is now working its way up to that area. So you got, again, three pieces of confluence. If we were to continue to fall down, that you have an opportunity to find price action. So, for me, that's kind of my style. I wait for price action to come to me. I find some confluence, and then I'll take a position at that point. But the other thing you have right here up in this area that I didn't really talk about is liquidity. So it's not surprising to see the price action work its way down. And if you see a wick down, kind of like this one here to the left, you can see it clear out this liquidity. And then if you get a strong move back into the range, I would say it might actually be an opportunity to take a long position. So that's why I have this green box here. I would very, very much keep an eye on the price action in this zone. And again, if you get one of these long wicks and a close up above, some of these important levels here in terms of the where we have confluence, then I think it could be an opportunity. And so I'm not really freaking out about where we're at right now. So the other thing I'm looking at when I said I was looking at a shorter term potential trade is this right here. So this was the 95 area, right? We were kind of talking about that a little bit. And what I'm looking at, because there was liquidity here, I'm always watching the liquidity in this area, right? Because you had support multiple times. One, I mean, I want to say it was like 4 or 5. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what happens every time that you hit this area of support? Liquidity builds up. People start taking leverage long positions. They put their stop losses here. And then you get these moves down. We clear out this liquidity. And now we got to wait to see if we reestablish the range here. So if we reestablish the range, see if I can, right? You get a wick like that. And then you want to look for a bullish candle, right? That would be an opportunity to take a long position, right? But it's very key that we reestablish this range. So that's one of the things I'm looking at in the short term. And then you also have a little bit of we'll say longer range, kind of something for you to wait for, something. Just kind of wait for the price to come to you. So there you go. Something I'm looking at.
Nice. Let me show you a couple of things that I do have now that you're looking at that area. I mean, I do see that channel now. I do remember that you brought it back from a long, long time. You've been looking at it for almost, what is it, almost 6 months or farther?
Dude, it's probably been yeah, probably 7 or 8 months. And I've that thing's been a money printer for me. Like
Yeah,
that was my
absolutely.
best play of 24, and then I played it again probably twice in the last month. It's it's been awesome.
Nice, I love it. Yeah, I mean, there we go. This is something that I was looking at previously. I did have the same area to the upside, but I did not extend it this one right there. I basically was also looking something very similar, not exactly the same. But let me see. There we go. This is the trend line that I've been looking at also
Yeah.
for a little bit of time. Yeah, and you are completely right. I mean, this is a very old prediction that I have saved in there. But the point with mine, which is a slightly bit different, and let me say, guys, for the record, that this analysis for me, it's a little bit of a rough analysis. This one here, this was a quick analysis that we've been following for a couple of months still. But if you want the best positioning of this trend line, go check out the chart of TradeFlight. Remember, this class is being recorded. So I think TradeFlight has been working farther on this channel and this trend line at that point that he has it refined, right? Because I noticed that yours was slightly above this area, right? Or I mean, slightly above, which I mean, if we're talking daily and you want to do some 4 hour trades, we're talking a difference of something like a 3%, which could be the difference between one trade or taking a trade or not, right? So just a little bit food for thought. And I am bullish on Bitcoin. Remember that I am expecting some reversals here, right? As we had it, and I celebrated as soon as we had this bullish. Oh man, this name went away of my brain. Um, Man, divergence. This bullish divergence that we had in here, especially since we're coming to the dynamic reactor daily. Something that we looked at today with Piper was the MVP oscillator. I want to take a look at it and how is it comparing right now on Bitcoin. By the way, I see Mac 1983 that you're new. Don't worry, I'm going to be giving you a quick rundown. And also, who requested gold and silver insights? I'll also be taking a look at gold and silver. So we have the MVP oscillator here. Let me just clear everything that I have. And we're not there yet with daily buy up zones, right? Usually when we are below the zero line, let me draw that for you. It's going to bring up again everything that we have right there, but still worth it. When we are below the zero line and we start having these areas of green, that's when we start DCAing in, right? So at this point, yes, we are below the zero line, but we don't have just yet those green bars in here. So for me, we might still have a little bit more movement to go to the downside. And that's when it comes this V-shaped recovery, or at least this strip of the lows going to the dynamic reactor, 91-ish, 90-ish, the same area that we were talking about, give or take, right? But yeah, I mean, I would say that we either make it or break it at this point because we have also a possible double top. And as we know, unless the basic cycle is being broken, sell may and go away, right? Uh, But other than that, I mean, we need just to keep looking at it every single day, looking at lower time frames to start ticking with the market changes. Something interesting that I have or that not predicted but speculated in the past, it is that now that institutional money is a reality, it's not that we're gonna be seeing pumps and dumps, but bigger ranges, because it's just like when you see that influx of volatility or influx of volume in a coin, you start seeing that. And I made that comparison. Let's go to Coinbase, because that has the largest history. Like, for example, previously this movement, it was, I mean, it was in fact, I have this analysis, right? It was an 862, right? But the next move, or the next movement, I mean, from bottom to top, it is less of a percentage, but bigger range. Why? Because right here, that's what we got, the influx of capital. So basically, we increased our market cap for an order of magnitude, right? Or two orders of magnitude, which made not more volatility, but a bigger range, right? So what if we are looking at the same thing right here? It's not that we are making more volatility, but maybe a bigger range for the next movement upwards, right? At the end of it all, we can compare it, or we can compare what we have seen from this cycle, right, to this cycle, to this cycle, to this other cycle, right? I mean, it's just been crazy how it has been evolving. Um, oh, I see. Don't worry, my friend. Try to find. Yeah, I mean, part of backtesting, it is doing a whole lot of lines for reference, right? So, yeah. Let me go over.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
working a
absolutely.
pretty gnarly strategy, man. I'm actually gonna get on the hook with Alex probably a little bit later and kind of run him through it and try to finally get this strategy back tester updated.
Nice. Oh, by the way, on your question, we don't have just yet a date, but seems to be at the end of the next month.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just-
I'm gonna run Alex through it as well. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's take a look at a couple of other things in here. Let me give you guys a little bit of rundown on what I'm seeing or how you can get started and for the new members, and also let's visit gold and silver. Let's do first gold and silver, since that analysis is going to be faster. Let's use, for example, here where I already have metals. Let's take a look at gold. Gold, by the way, remember guys that I'm already taking some profits in gold. This was my taking profits area right there. And also I took a 10%. Oh, yes. Nice. We keep pushing upwards. We keep pushing upwards despite we are into a little range, right? A range within a range. Let me just clear this up so it's way better. By the way, I still have most of my position open. 90% of my position is still open, right? But we do see a range right here, right? This is the range that we're looking at, and unless we start breaking it, we're gonna have a defined direction. So far, look at how bullish are we, right? So far, I mean, we are very, very bullish. But something that I don't like is that we've been for this up-ranging range, if you might, for
hey, check
so
your
long.
screen.
Oh, I'm not. Thank you. Sorry for that. There it is. All right, perfect. So sorry for that. Let me go back in here. This was my last trade of gold. By the way, remember that I have another trade on gold in this entry, and I added to it. And then from my whole position, I took out 10% right there. I give this gold right there, and ended up being at 2,943. My taking profits. Something that I was telling you guys, it is that we're still within this little range, a range within a range. And despite that, I mean, we can still see kind of like at this ranging zone or this rising wedge. Usually this pattern breaks to the downside. So being so long into this pattern, it really makes me nervous. But so far, we are still very, very bullish. Something important to note, guys. This is something that what I believe that we could be doing, all right? But something important to note is that when we are the most bullish, that's when we start breaking the bullishness, right? Why? It's just a matter of basically we need to get to the top to then reverse. So let me show you, for example, right here. Look at how bullish we were, right? Prime score 8 out of 10. Consolidation score 0 out of 10. Basically, we are not consolidating at all. We're moving into a strong trend. What is that strong trend? Bullish. So when we start seeing that further continuation, further push, further push, further push, we need to be a little bit careful here. Not because we're extremely bullish, we're going to be just longing wherever, right? Remember what we're looking for, it is just kind of retracements and then flip of the ribbons at support for then start jumping with in the trend on the pullbacks, all right? So let's just do that recap. There we go. And then we start reversing. As we lose the zero line, we basically call that reversal, right? So again, when we are the most bullish, that's when we could be looking for that reversal. And at this point, we are pretty freaking bullish. The only thing that is not pairing, it is consolidation score, which is 9. Highly consolidating because we've been for a long time consolidating, and also 9 out of 10, which means that we are at the end of the consolidation. So a movement should be imminent, which means movement to the downside or to the upside. It doesn't tell us which one, although I believe it's going to be to the upside. Then, if you're not trading this range because it's at the top, how can you make money out of it? Well, then, first of all, let's take a look at daily. And we just see that huge movement, right? There's not much to read out of the daily. Let's go back to the 4-hour here then. And let me just clear my drawings for a little bit. There we go. We need to see a breakout retest and then off we go. All right. How would that look? Well, then maybe something breakout retest your entry, right? And then off we go. Or the other way around, failing it, go into dynamic reactor, breakout retest, and then off we go. How do you know that this is not going to be a fake out? You usually know this because of the position of your oscillator. If you are above the zero line, most likely you're going to be continuing going upwards. If you are below the zero line, most likely you're going to be reversing or continuing to the downside. All right. So that is for gold. Let's take a look at silver here. There we go. Silver, a little bit of the same. The only thing that is different is that we already have a breakout, right? So let me just draw this a little bit better. There we go. It's not about the breakout. It's about the retest, what we could be expecting. Which it seems like we could be going a little bit farther. Look at that goose head. Usually a goose head represents, look at that where we had that goose head. Usually a goose head represents farther movement to the downside before a reversal. Further movement to the downside before a reversal. All right. So what does this mean? Maybe further movement to the downside before a reversal. We still need to be aware of that we have broken this important trend line and we could be making a lower high in here for consolidating a start of either a flag, a symmetrical triangle, or a further move to the downside. Goose head is bearish before reversal. No, that depends on the goose head. Like for example, this is your zero line, and then you're gonna be making two boxes, one up and one down. Then you divide those boxes in half. If your goose head in this box is very badly, there we go. I think this is gonna be much better. All right. If your goose head, it is down here and it's inverted. You see how that is inverted, the goose head, right? Inverted goose head is bearish. So basically you're looking for a further continuation downwards because it's bearish, right? And then a bullish movement. A goose head to the upside, let me go farther back and find a goose head. Here it is. Perfect. a goose head to the upside, and this is not the best example. This is the reaction of this goose head is way faster. Oh, there we go. This is a perfect goose head, what I'm expecting out of a goose head. A bullish goose head has a further continuation, a little bit of a retracement, but further continuation up, right, for then the pullback. Does that answer your question, Creative? Or still have some more questions? Let me know. I can also re-explain. That's all good now. Oh, got it, brother. Reading through. Whenever you're ready to send that question, I'll be reading it. In the meantime, let's continuing. Let's continue here. So right here, what I'm expecting further movement to the downside and then a possible reversal. It also pairs with the support that we have in here. Also, let's take a look at what else do we have right there. Oh, nice. Look at that. We don't only have dynamic reactor. We have a support area. We have a highly bullish liquidity area. What else do we have there? Well, same liquidity area. Oh, and then also we have a predictive range. And also look at where are we looking for that reversal to maybe happen on a loud order block, right? So it's pairing. I mean, the pattern that we're seeing, it's pairing for maybe a continuation to a downside, creating a dead cat bounce out of that goose hit, all right? So that's what I got on gold and silver. Other than that, let me get into Discord for you guys, and let me give you a little bit of a rundown on where you can get started. This is for our new members in the channel here. 1 second, let me just, there we go. This is my Discord account. Let's go over Chart Prime. And on Chart Prime, you want to go and visit, first of all, the tutorial section, right? After you take a look at the tutorial section, you go to additional content. On additional content, you'll see important classes. Here we go, important classes. And on important classes, watch class number 1. All right, this is very, very, very important. Where are you, my friend? I don't see you. Mac, all right, Mac 1983. This class, it's outdated, but still very, very valid. So what am I sending you to watch it? Because of how the indicators work. I explain in a 1-hour video how everything works in the front end. What has changed is just the position of the indicator and the name of the indicator. That's it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right here, you'll see that we're looking at Market Oracle 1212, which is an older version. And also we're looking, or we're using as smart money concepts. Smart money concepts, it is not anymore a standalone indicator. It is part now of our, oh, let me show it to you, of our Market Dynamics Pro. Right there on Smart Money Concepts, you'll find liquidity zones, predictive ranges, and also support and resistances. So basically, it's just migrated from being one standalone to part of the market dynamics, all right? So we have integrated that. Another thing that you need to be aware of, it is, for example, the settings on the Market Oracle. On Market Oracle, let me show it to you, before we had trend sensitivity and trend agility. Right now, we just made a mathematical combination of those two numbers to give you just one number to change, right? Watch the video, and then you will know how to change it. But long story short, the smaller the number, let me show it to you right here, on Market Oracle Plus right now, you have trendy, right, which is trend mode, and instead of having two numbers, there's only one number to change. For me, my best setting for Bitcoin 4 hours, it is 43. And let me give you this quick rundown just so you understand what am I looking for. I'm looking for being on the 4 hours, zooming out, and being able to call for the trends visually without nothing in there, right? That is a trend. Maybe this is a trend. This is a range. This is a trend. Maybe this is a trend, right? Once I have visually set it up, the next thing I'm going to be doing is turning on my dynamic reactor. All right, let's do that. Let me turn off for now trendy, turn on dynamic reactor. Let me clear this up. Let's see. Just remove this. Sorry for that. All right, and now that I have my dynamic reactor, I want to see if what I circled, which I did, remember, it's pairing with the breakthrough, price breaking through the dynamic reactor and then breaking back through. Remember that what you're looking for, it is the trend, not the top nor the bottom. Where does a trend ends? So remember, trendy, it is not tops and bottoms indicator. It is trend indicator because the trend is your friend. It's just the bare basics right there. And then you time the tops and then you time the bottom. But I'll show you how to do that on that video. So basically that is it. That is all the changes that you might be getting confused about. Other than that, everything that I explained there, it is more than valid, especially when I talked about the predictive ranges. On predictive ranges, I show you how the channel, how the price channels in predictive ranges. I show you how important those predictive ranges are. I also show you, there we go, how to start using the dynamic reactor. There we go, how to use a Wyckoff strategy. I also show you, let me show you here, how to use your oscillator. Let me see if I can show it to you right here. It's almost at the end. Oh, most importantly, by the way, one of the most important parts is how to use your reversals. What kind of reversals there are? Let me give you a heads up here. Come on. Oh, maybe a little bit too far away. Oh, here it is. Here. Sorry for that. There you go. What kind of reversals there are and how to identify each reversal based on the structure. All right. So for example, right here, number 3, going down, little flag, blue flag, reversal flag, little range, continuation, right? And then so on and so forth. So how to use reversals, and finally, how to trade with a basic setup by using your oscillator, using trend lines, using predictive ranges, and also I explain you where to enter, how to take profits, how to set your stop loss. There you go, how to set your stop loss right there. My strategy on how to set your stop loss, how to take early profits, and how to close your trade, and how to reverse your trade. Right here in this part, this is what I said, 1 hour 47 minutes. This is the basic theory of set your stop loss at the next resistance or support if you're for a short. But what if your next support resistance is just so far away? Well, then I show you a calculation on volatility, how to measure volatility, and add that calculation to your stop loss. All right? And then based on that calculation, where to take profits, how to trail it, how to reverse it, how much do I take profits while trailing it, and that is basically it. So I advise you to watch that video more than once, take some notes, and then finally go and watch class video number 3. And once you have watched those 2 videos, feel free to visit whatever, right? What is whatever? Maybe the rest of the important classes, maybe your quick tips in here. And also, if you want to take a look at the quick tips, I have a how to trade the bull market series. Let me share that with you, copy message link. Here it is. And I go ahead and show you where to enter, how to trade, how to get out of a losing trade, how to jump back into the trend, how to trade against the trend if you might, so on and so forth. And I show you receipts on the trades that we did. All right. So basically, that's the whole series. Go watch them. Here's all the tools. And you're going to have so much questions, so many questions. So note them. Please do a block of notes, right? A text block. Uh, write your questions, and tomorrow just copy and paste them, and boom, boom, boom. Just like as you paste them, I'm gonna be trying to answer them. All right. Perfect. Little fish. Love it. Nice. 10, 1001 eggs all in. Yes. Best recipe to get wrecked. Rigi, what's up? 400 eggs full for a whole account? Not really, but we'll see. We'll see. By the way, Rigi Classics, one of the best stories in here also. Other than that, let's take a look at what I got for you on the altcoin part, right? We're already having a couple of bounces on the traditional market, but also we have possible entries on the rest of the altcoins. Let's get started with Jupiter. Jupiter on 4 hours. Well, in fact, it was on daily. We were looking at daily. We were looking for a possible higher low. We can even move it or update that area here, or even a double bottom, right? We also have right here an alert right there at 0.66, right? What we're waiting for it is that flip of the ribbon. Seems like we could be having that flip of the ribbon farther more to our right side. So Jupiter still not playing out. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. And despite we should be on a trade because that was the area that we were looking for, we don't have yet the flip of the ribbon. In fact, if we wait for the flip of the ribbon, we might get a way better entry somewhere around those areas. Remember, it's not just the flip of the ribbon. It is the support. And look at that, what we got there. The support at almost there with the flip of the ribbon. So a possible entry right there. Or better yet, look at that automated trend line that Chart Prime does for us, right? So wait for that breakout, retest, right? And then off we go. Remember to take early profits. So Jupiter, there we go. MNT basically was already a stopped out. We went up in here, move our stop to entry, stop us out. Our next possible entry, as it's shown in here, is our the next confluence zone. All the way here. Remember, we're looking for the flip of the ribbon, right? Flip of the ribbon at support. And where's the next support? At this area right here. In fact, we already have an alert at 0.80-ish, right? Let me also move it just slightly above. There we go, 81.09. Let's take a look at the H bar. H bar, today, take profits. And if you're already into that one and you did not take profits, we're heading up again, guys. So I was not expecting this secondary candle. So at least move your stop to entry and start looking for taking some early profits. And again, remember, move your stop to entry. Let me just Control C this. Perfect. Meta. Meta, remember that we were looking at a best area of entry, but almost half on the FOR. Remember that we were looking for that flip of the ribbon. So basically, we're looking at if you really wanted to trade it, well, then this was an entry, but we did not have that FOR at that time. So we could possibly, oh, come on. I was locked. There we go. We could be possibly looking for that at the FOR right here, flip of the ribbon. It's a little bit dangerous right now, but this entry could be a good one. You know what? I might be able to grab this. But let me show you what is a very dangerous one, because we have, look at the next support. Look at the next support. Look at the next support. Look at your next support, guys. It's just so far away. It's just so far away. So if we don't bounce in here, I mean, the next support is not gonna be holding our account, or our account is not gonna be holding for our next support. So be careful on this one. I would, not financial advice, but friendly recommend that if you're gonna be taking this trade, do half of an entry. Set very short stop loss. Other than that, uranium. I already have an entry today on uranium. As I called it today in the morning, NVIDIA. It was a good pullback down in here. We'll see if that we recuperate. Remember that we have earnings reports soon of NVIDIA. I want to see that flip of the ribbon and closing back above the dynamic reactor. All right, so be careful on NVIDIA. I'm still waiting for it. SPX on entry zone right there. In fact, we hit it right there today in the morning at 9:03. It is 10:48 my time. So SPX maybe could be a good entry for a bounce. So bounce up, then back down. All right, let me just remove the rest of the things that I have here so we don't get confused. And that will be our next possible scenario. Other than that, guys, any other question? TradFly, maybe are you looking at something that you would like to share before we start wrapping the class up?
Yeah, man, I got a couple of just quick things to keep an eye on, we'll say. I got Sui and Ada up. Let me go ahead and share my chart. Cool. All right, so here's Sui. I've been watching this over the past couple weeks. Couple key areas, right? Looking at the value area high, value area low, point of control, not so worried about. But look how it's been respecting the dynamic reactor. So on the 4 hour, it's showing you it's pretty clear bearish trend right now for SUI, and it has started to consolidate in this range. So as the dynamic reactor is starting to kind of go horizontal and level out, there could be an opportunity for some upside. But what I want you to keep an eye on right here in the near term is just the value area low that it looks like we're kind of breaking down from right now. So definitely, in the near term, we could see some movement down as low as about $2 and like 67, $2.70. But that is, I think, the bottom side of this range that we're looking at right now. Think you could get some movement back to the upside. The other thing that I'm looking at is really the top side of the range where we're consolidating now too. So this is probably, the area I'd be more likely to take a position on. And the reason is because you're getting over very clear areas of resistance, right? You're getting over the dynamic reactor, value area high. And then I'd be looking for that OC retest, right? So, one of the things really, what are you doing? You're kind of regressing to the mean, right? If you kind of go back to the left, you see there's a lot of price action in this zone. And then just overall, like you got to look for a bounce in the market. But I think this might be a nice opportunity. You break through here. I think that's going to be kind of a confirmation that at least you'll have the opportunity to move up to about $3.97 or so. And that's a really, really nice play if you can get into that zone. So again, it's a wait and see kind of approach, but a 12% move I think is on the cards if you do get up in that area. So something, as you can see right here, I have my notifications on. So I'm just going to be looking for interaction with that area. And then we'll kind of go from there and see what happens with Sui. But, short term, something for you guys to watch. Cardano has kind of left its range, right? It's been consolidating for a minute here as well. If you go back really since, early February or so, it broke out for a minute. But then it's really just kind of stuck in here and pogoed around. I've actually made a couple plays on Cardano here recently, just taking advantage of where we've had some consolidation. But value area high and just this horizontal level at about 82, 83 cents has just really, really been, pretty clear resistance for Cardano. It does look like we're trying to kind of break out of the range right now. So again, the OC retest, keep an eye on that. There could be some potential downside for Cardano. So if we go down to those levels we were talking about for Bitcoin, you're talking about, 92K, 93K. One of the things you're going to be looking at is how does that correlate to some of these altcoins, right? So you find these significant levels of support and you try to play those in conjunction with, right? So it's a way for me, I like playing some of the altcoins sometimes because it's a little bit, I don't know. I'm not going to say safer, but you don't have to use as much leverage. And what you'll see is an exponential move with some of the altcoins. So that's why I keep an eye on them. And I do like, making some plays on, some of the altcoins, not, obviously ones that have, a little bit larger cap because I don't want to be too exposed to nonsense. But key levels for you there, 83 cents. You break that, you're looking for that OC retest. So I really think this could play out, right? Like as this dynamic reactor kind of goes horizontal as well, you come up, get a rejection off of that, retest the value area high, and then look for that continuation up and right. But obviously, the market has to move in that direction to make some movement there. Other thing I'm looking for right now. So sorry, I cleaned up my chart for you guys a little bit. I know it was a lot of nonsense, and I think one of you was asking about the blue line. This blue line is actually what I was looking at for price action. Okay, so I mapped this out. I don't know this weekend. I think it was Saturday or so. I posted in our group and what I was looking for and why I was looking for it. And I just described it a little bit earlier. The liquidity's here. That's what this green line is. All right. So, and then I have it just, some text there just to let myself know, hey, liquidity is under here. So really we're looking for the wick to come down, grab this liquidity, and then reestablish over top of that area at about 94.8. So I know I talked through it a little bit, but at least now you can see it a little bit more clear. So it comes up. 95.2 was an area that we were finding some support. So I wouldn't be surprised to see some price action look like this, right? You grab the liquidity, makers happy, and then retail gets a little shook. Institutional investment can come in, or buyers, big whales, whatever, and then they can push the price back up, right? So that's kind of how the game gets played over and over again. Retail gets shook out, everyone else comes in, buys, pushes it back up, and then really you just wait for that retest. All right. For me, it's just a conservative play. But that's kind of how I like to play the game is I like to see this retest. I now formally call it the OC retest and then look for that continuation up and right. So if you go to let's go to Blowfin here, right? So I'm hawking this right now, just so you guys know. Like I am eagerly awaiting to see if we break this line right here. And that is, I think 95 or 94.9. 94.9 right now on Blowfin on the perpetual futures. Obviously, it'll line up a little different on some of the different charts and exchanges, but if we break that, it's the same thing, right? Just so you guys know, let me just paintbrush. I'm looking for something like that. Right? I see that, and then I'll probably take a long position, right? And then what I'll do to protect myself, just so you guys can understand the full setup there, is let's take a long. Cool. Then I'm taking that stop underneath of this wick. All right. Now, in terms of upside, that's where I got to start looking at that and do a little bit more, I guess analysis, we'll say, but I think up to about 96.3, 96.4 makes a lot of sense. Not a great risk to reward. But the problem is right now is we keep hitting our heads on the 200. So as the 200 continues to work its way down, it's price action is really having a hard time with that. So that's what I'm looking at now. Obviously, ideally, 2 to 1, 3 to 1 is always nice, but we can always reevaluate as price comes up. Is it aggressive? Does it make a move past the 200 finally, and kind of work through all of these levels of resistance? And maybe you can stay in the trade, take out your initial, or move your stop loss up. Right? There's definitely different ways to skin the cat, and definitely different ways to kind of practice risk management, which I always recommend for you guys. That's probably the biggest part of the trade is knowing how to get out of the trade, so you guys don't round trip it. But it's a couple things I'm looking at.
Nice. Thanks so much, Treflash, for sharing that, and also to take a look at that amazing charts on your broker. That's awesome, guys. Thanks so much for joining. We've reached at the end of the class. Hopefully, you guys had fun. Remember that this class is being recorded. I'm going to be processing it, also showing or uploading a couple of our trade setups on the Hangout and on the crypto chat, just in case you guys want to remember. But also, very, very important, watch the class, because remember, it's not just about the entry zone or price, it is about the structure in the market, right? Other than that, guys, thank you so much. Dagat, you mentioned that you wanted to see my settings. Let's visit them tomorrow when we also have the Q&A of the new members. I'll show how I have configured my indicators, and also we'll update our indicators together, because it's about time that we go over to the latest and greatest updates. Other than that, guys, TradeFly, thank you so much for joining, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you around. We miss you on the Piper Academy, by the way.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me up. You might see some more of me. It's just my schedule is fluctuating. You know how that is, but we'll see, man.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm gonna try to get on the morning show a little bit more often. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Do not wear yourself out, because we need to have TradeFly sharp and ready. But other than that, thank you so much for stopping by. And whenever you want to come back here, man, you know that you are the master of the class. Guys, without further
appreciate it,
ado,
dude.
thank you for TradeFly. Guys, without further ado, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.